So what we have here is a simple project that I've constructed simply to show the remaining days on a task, depending on how we've in fact recorded actual work done. Simple project with short durations. And there we see it on the Gantt. Combination of finish to start and start to start relationships. We have placed the status date with the current date. You'll see the green line there is the current date, but let's just have a look at how the status date under project information has been placed literally at the same day as the current date. It doesn't have to be that way. You'll see it does differ by 8 hours. So there we have it. Now let's just use Microsoft Project's built-in features, and then I'll show you one you can construct. So we talk about actual duration. So there's been no work, so there's no actual duration, and I'm going to call it remaining duration. There we go, remaining duration. Well, that would then be the full duration of the task. But then if we go and enter in our percentages in terms of how much has been done, notice that those numbers change dynamically, 0.5, 0.5. That we can play around with as many tasks as we want, but this is what will happen. It's always wise to ensure your baseline first, and then of course to ensure your status date. 2.01, 0.99 on the 33%. But now let's add a formula using a number field and right-click custom fields. Let's rename it and call it REMDUR, remaining duration. It's going to do exactly the same, but it's sometimes better to rather use this formula. The formula will be in the description. I'll put it up on the screen now as well. But there it is. There we go. You can pause the screen at that point. 480 being the amount of minutes you work in an 8-hour day. 60 times 8 hours. Use the formula on the summary, roll up, and there you have it. It's exactly the same as remaining duration, but it's sometimes better to use this calculation than just remaining duration. So just showing you different ways in which you can actually do this. Look there, 67% changes the combination over there. And of course, you'll see the tracking happens on the Gantt chart itself. Now we're going to do a little setting up with Grok. Let's ask Grok for some formulae that we can use. And here we go with some alternative formulae. So you can look at decimal working days left, calendar days left, and not if task is done. And those are the formulae which will also be in the description for you. You just have to ask Grok and it'll give it to you. All right, there are alternatives to that final formula that I did. There they go. But wait, there's going to be a far more complex calculation based on the status date upcoming. All right, now to introduce a status date. Now let's look at something a lot more complex. I've added a progress line there on the Gantt chart. The same project pertains. I've got rid of the old calculation that we did in the last little video clip, but this is the same project. Notice I've added that progress line based on the current date as well. Well, the status date, which is the same as the current date. There we go, 18 February, 18 February. One is at the end of the day, the one is at the beginning of the day, green and red lines. We insert progress lines by right-clicking on the Gantt, and we choose display and add project status date. Good. Now let's have a look at adding some formulae in order to work things out for us. What we want to work out is one of three things. If it starts before, I'm using number column, if it starts before the status date, if it traverses the status date. Progress duration. Good. Let's put a formula in there. And the formula is quite complex. It'll be in the description. But we'll go through it. Here it comes. And what happens here is you've got, if the baseline estimate finish is less than the status date, render a 1. But if the baseline estimated start is greater than the status date, in other words, if it's afterwards, render a 0. And then it's got another calculation to give us a proportion thereof. So let's go and have a look at how this works. It will be in the description. Must use the formula to roll up for the summary tasks as well. Good. Now, notice we've got 1 because it starts long before and finishes long before the status date. And then the next one also does, it just finishes on the status date, but the third one crosses the status date at about 80%. And that 80% is evident over there. Now you might want it to show a percentage, and for that we will add a text column with a rounding function. The rounding function will enable us to see a percentage. Let's have a look at how we do that. Just busy pointing out the obvious there. Now let's put that rounding function in. Text, choose text 1, and we are simply, it's already there because I've done it before, but I'm going to reconstruct render. Okay. All right, and rounding off. Good. Let's put that formula in. It's a simple formula. And the simple formula will be in the description as well. Round, and not number 9. We chose number 1, remember? Round number 1, multiply by 100 and include the percentage symbol. There we go. So 1 is 100%, 0.8 is 80%, and so forth.